The next question says, the most efficient combination of resources in producing a given output is the combination that A, comes closest to using the same quantities of land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurial ability. B, minimizes the cost per unit of output. C, uses the smallest total quantity of all resources. Easy. Or D, conserves most on the use of labor. Right, so let's break this down. We're talking about efficiency here, most likely allocative efficiency, and it's basically saying we want a situation where we are most efficiently using the resources at our disposal. And so what does efficiency mean? And so A says that efficiency would mean using the same quantities of land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurial ability. And this is a really bad metric, right? Because obviously, depending on what you're producing, some things might be more land intensive and some things might be more labor or capital or entrepreneurial intensive, right? For example, growing crops is very land intensive, kind of labor intensive, kind of capital intensive, and not very entrepreneurial ability intensive, right? And so by that logic, it would be inefficient to use land to produce farm on land, even if that was the most adequate use of those resources. And so A would be incorrect. B says minimizing the cost per unit of output. This is a much better metric for efficiency. If we're minimizing costs, we know that there's not much else we can do to drive down the production cost of this good. And so this is going to be a really good indicator that we've done our best to most efficiently combine the resources at our disposal. So we're going to keep an eye on B. Let's take a look at C. C says use the smallest total quantity of all resources. And this is inherently inefficient, right? If you use a very small quantity of resources, that means you're leaving some of your resources unused. And that would be, under most definitions, inefficient, because you could incorporate those resources in a certain way so that you could increase your production overall. And so we would not define efficiency by using the smallest total amount of resources. And D says conserves most on the use of labor. And again, it's unclear why efficiency would entail paying specific attention to just one of our factors of production, just labor, right? Why not land? Why not capital? And so this isn't really the way we view efficiency. It's again going back to the idea of minimizing cost per unit of output. And so B is going to be the best answer choice over here. And the previous tutor also said B, and they said this is done by binding inputs which have higher marginal outputs. And yeah, it was a good answer choice here for sure.